You are now listening to CTR Media Network.
The family. CTR Media Network. Yeah. Best in the biz. Yeah. Join the team. CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far. Whether you listen at your home, at your job, in your car, come get the information that's needed above par. Never lasting, motivational podcasting, giving you the answers to the questions that you're asking. Serious talks and topics, how to come up and profit, how to better yourself, your health and self. We got it, reaching 350 million, they tuning in. We in 50 different countries, we all can. And like minded, find your purpose and your assignment. Come get your fix, your feel, your mental alignment. Get active and speak to the masses. Build your influence all levels and all classes. Now you know you can monetize and grow. CTR Media Network, start the show. CTR Media Network.
Welcome to CTR Media Network TV. Today we are honored to have the powerhouse guest with us, Yvette Lloyd. She is an unstoppable entrepreneur, mentor, and the heart behind Life Her podcast, Life Her Studio, and Fidelity Young Women's Program. Her journey is a testament to resilience, faith, and the power of authentic storytelling. Despite facing unimaginable personal loss and professional challenges, Yvette has built brands that not only succeeded, but uplifted others along the way. Get ready for a real inspiring and practical conversation that will empower you to keep going no matter what life throws your way. And today, without further ado, I'd like to bring on to the screen the beautiful Miss Yvette Lloyd. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing amazingly awesome. I am happy that you're here today with me and we get to dive into this conversation. So how you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Oh no, I've been following you for a while now. So it's certain people that stand out in these podcast streets and you just happen to be one of them. And I'm just happy to have you where we can have this conversation because I have been seeing bits and pieces of your story throughout the years on social media. And when I think about your journey of resilience and then how you wrap that around with your purpose, the question that I want to do is just bring you back to the beginning for people who may not know anything about you and your brand and who you are. And so what I thought was interesting is that you started a business at the age of 22. So how was it for you to start a business at 22? And was that the thing that laid the foundation that shaped who you are today?
Girl, I was just on some different stuff back then when I started my daycare at 22. I had trouble when I was 18. I had trouble looking for a job because my mom never let me have a job while I was in high school. So she wanted me to wait. And then I ended up going to college for nursing. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. So then I ended up getting into childcare because my nephew needed a daycare to attend. And then once I started working in that field, mom started personally pulling me to the side that worked later shifts. And then I started to watch them at my home for private pay. And then as the years progress, later on, I end up just getting licensed through the state for me to have a home daycare in my home. So it really just stemmed from there. And then I ended up having my girls program and I started that in my home too. And their babies were coming as well. So it just went from there and I've just been going ever since.
I mean, like, you're saying it like it's so normal for a 22-year-old to say, you know what? I'm babysitting. I mean, I'm babysitting my nieces and nephews too, and I didn't think about starting a daycare, like cousins and stuff like that. So I'm like, you had to be built a little bit different. Did you see, did you have entrepreneurship around you that made you kind of say, well, maybe I should start this as a business?
Yeah.
Or what was that shift? Because that's not something that's traditionally normal.
Girl, my summers at home wasn't normal. That's where it all started. My stepfather, he was doing real estate at the time, and the home that we lived in, he ended up renting it, and he ended up purchasing the home next door to us. So I watched him do that process, and I watched him, manage different homes and purchase them and everything. And he also had a lawn care service as well, and I used to be his like assistant on different things with that. And then also in my summers, I had to read about 2 books a month through my summers when I was out of school, and I couldn't go play outside until I actually finished about 2-3 chapters. And then after doing that, they had me do spelling words and write about the books and tell them about it and everything. So, but the books weren't normal books. It wasn't like babysitting books and stuff like that. It was more entrepreneurship books that
Yeah.
they had me reading. And then from there, it was just installed in me. But even when I was younger, I've always been a giver and wanting to give to other kids and stuff. I thought I was everybody's mom at a young age. So it's just my leadership it just always went from there. And just also observation of my family. My family was really like closed in. You really didn't see them travel much. You didn't see them really owning businesses, even though we did have like doctors and lawyers and stuff like that. But I've always been that child that wanted to do different and observe things that I don't see and create it into my own world.
Okay, so that makes sense. You did get different exposure. The books, you're reading different books on entrepreneurship, and then basically from the beginning, you was always a problem solver. That's what I'm hearing. So you saw things, and okay, so that makes sense. So with all of that being said, I think about when people see that part, like they may see your podcast, they may see all the different things that you're doing and how multifaceted you are with talent and creativity. And they may look at you right now sitting there looking good on your purple couch, and they're saying, surely this girl has not had any unmeasurable challenges in her life. And I would say that they're wrong about that, because what I found that was very fascinating about your life is that it wasn't peaches and cream. Your life has thrown you some unimaginable losses your way. And so can you share with us how you was able to, if you feel comfortable, sharing some of those losses that you had, and also how you was able to find the strength to keep going, to keep reinventing yourself, and to keep building despite what was going on in your life, because you went through some things that the average person would have thrown their hands up and be like, I'm done. I'm not doing anything else. So what is it that made you keep going?
It's just my strength. A lot of times I've always seen the elderly women, because I was blessed with both grandparents on my mom and dad's side. So I've always watched them go through things and still kept going. And I always admired that. So with me going through that, it really stemmed from, a lot of it really started when my mom's mother passed, my grandmother, and she passed in 2011. And that's when I actually took that leap out and just started the daycare process of me actually getting licensed. But in 2008, that's when I actually, went through the process of being private with my childcare business. So it stemmed from me losing her. And then later on, 2019, I lost my mother-in-law in January 2019. And then in June, no, I will take that back. In January in 2018, and then I lost my cousin, and then after that I lost my mom as well. And then I also lost my husband. I lost everybody within a year. And it was rough. But it kept me going in so many ways because I know that's what they would wanted me to do. And even in the process, I still kept going podcasting and everything. I ended up losing my daycare after I lost my husband. I had a bigger one. I had a daycare building, and I still was running my youth program. I stopped both of them. And then later on, I had a janitorial company as well that me and my husband started together. I kept that going for a year after he passed, and then I ended up just letting that go too. I had got to a point where I just started to let go things because of it was a lot on me. And even when I found myself, grieving so much, I was losing myself a lot. And even though I was losing myself, I was still showing up. But it was just one moment when my health has gotten so bad internally, and I needed to take a break from everything. And I took a very long break, and I had to, reboot myself and everything because it was really rough for me. I was in process of losing everything by the day because I was just depressed and miserable in the bed. But wouldn't nobody know that until I actually, speak about it. Just like with me podcasting, a lot of people don't know me podcasting. I have other businesses that I run besides me podcasting, and I go to them in between of me podcasting as well. But it's it's rough sometimes still, but I still find ways to just keep going because I know I have a purpose. And what helps me a lot is just people reaching out to me and telling me, like, you have done this for me. I watched you for many, many years. Thank you. Even though people don't react on my post or like any of my posts or anything. Some people just don't do that. But it do be times when they reach out and it just be so shocking because I'm like, wow, I didn't know. And it helps me keep going too.
Yeah, you're right. Because, like I said, I've been noticing you for years because we have been podcasting for quite a bit of time, and I have seen so many people come and go, come and go. Thinking that podcasting in itself is something that is easy, but it's not. But you tend to pay attention to the individuals that stay the long haul, even when you have a part where you pause for a while, because I went through some things where I paused for a while as well. But when I came back, I call it my bounce back, my boomerang effect. When I came back stronger, and I came back with more, I would say, more than I had at the time. And so, and I had more experience and things that I learned a lot about myself during that pause that I needed in order to be able to take care of the next level that I was going into. And had I not paused, I don't think I would have been able to deal with it or being able to go through successfully. So when I think about you, you are a brand by yourself. But honey, that podcast is a whole person by itself. Your Life Hurt podcast. And I have saw your brand, like I said, over the years, build, grow, scale with being more meticulous in the design, the look, the feel of how you bring about your podcast. So your business, I can see, is rooted in your real life story, your experiences that you have, because life hurt, that's your life. So when you launch your podcast, and I was always wanting to ask you this question, so I'm so glad you're here today. What made you name your podcast Life Hurt Podcast? Because so many people name their podcast after themselves or something else, but that is very unique. Life Hurt Podcast. So I want to know that, and what gap you would say it filled, having a podcast, it filled for you in your life. Because for me, it was kind of therapeutic, the podcast, when I first started.
Yeah.
So was that kind of like the same thing with you?
Yes, it was the same thing. When me and my mom, we were supposed to start it together. And that's when I was like trying to drift away from me mentoring my girls and boys program. And a lot of them were older now. So I'm like, what is something else they could utilize for them to still hear me mentor them? And my mom was like, why don't you start she didn't know nothing about podcasts. She was like, start a radio show. I was like, Mom, I ain't about to start no radio show. So then my friend ended up telling me about podcasting, and I started to research it, and I started executing and putting everything together, learning more about it. And then from me getting Life Her, it was supposed to be her life, because it was really like me and my life and the things that I was doing in the community and me running a business and everything. And then my friend was like, Life Her sounds better. That's more you, because you always giving people life. And I'm like, you're right. So I end up just having it as Life Her, because I am Life Her, and my guests that I have on my show, they're life and my other guests. So it's just about life itself and everyone building a foundation. However, a lot of people don't know, when we're running a business, we have a story behind that business. And sometimes social media can just cloud people's vision to a point they think we have it all like that, or to a point where, you know, they have high expectations, which is amazing. However, we do go through things on a back end, and that's why it's Life Her podcast. And it's not specifically just because it's just for women only, but it's for men and women. It's just, I am Life Her.
I love it, because for years I said, I wonder why she called it Life Her instead of Her Life, or name it after herself, you know. So I love that, and I love the history behind it. That was one of the questions I had over all these years. And so you spoke about social media. So when I think about today's world of social media, you know, we see all these highlighted reels. You are very authentic and real. That's one thing that that drew me to you, because even though your marketing, your branding, your show is just one of the best that's out there today, in my opinion, one of the best that's out there today, you showed the other side. Okay. And so that you have to go to a very vulnerable place to be able to show some of those most intimate things. So how have you stayed true to your original mission and your values while scaling your business? Because you mentioned that you are a business owner as well. The Life Her podcast is not the only thing that you do. And what advice would you give entrepreneurs about building an authentic brand like you have built, and how they can keep growing up with what they're doing with their business by being their authentic self?
Well, I was raised that way, to be my authentic self. And my mom used to always say, if you could just let out everything about yourself, no one has no room to say anything about you, because you already put it out there. So with me already doing that, me scaling my business, my podcast is about business owners. It is about people being vulnerable and sharing their personal growth from when they were younger all the way up, before they even became business owners. So with me doing that, it only helps for me to actually help my other audience, for other people to feel comfortable with being themselves, because it creates a better authentic audience for you to receive things from people that are afraid to be their authentic self. Because sometimes social media gives us an illusion, and we look at other people's content, their platforms and everything. Some people aren't being their authentic self, they're being what social media want them to be. So I just always thought it'd be better for me to just be myself, because I mean, keeping up with a lie isn't gonna help. You know, you gotta keep figuring out a narrative. You're gonna get confused and find yourself being all over the place. So with my podcast, I'm not only just interviewing people, but I also I do videos on my YouTube channel as well.
All right. And so when I think about you with entrepreneurship, and you're so right, it's better, I tell people, it's better just to be yourself, because if you are yourself, you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to keep up, like you said, this fake narrative. So sometimes we find in this culture that we live in today that people want to try to fit in. And I tell people, be yourself. The right people will find you. The people who you are here on this earth to help, they will, you don't have to fake it for them or have to fake it till you make it. Be your authentic self. And so when I think about entrepreneurship, when I think about you have a strong faith foundation, and your core, you're very strong with leadership. So how does your faith influence your daily decision making, your leadership style, if you have a particular leadership style, and how have you used that to serve others? You're muted. That's very interesting. So I can see how that piggyback off of your entrepreneurship and your history. And you have a very strong faith foundation, especially when it deals with, we was talking about leadership earlier and how you just had these leadership skills from an early age. But what I wanted to know is, how does your faith influence your daily decision making, your leadership style, if you have a particular type of leadership style, and how do you use that in order to serve others?
You know, my faith is like so strong. Um, just even it got even stronger from the losses that I took, and I watched how life can be so short. So I just always make sure that I'm living life to my standards and my abilities, and doing things of purposeful that's for me. So I'm always been big on leadership, and also just leading the way of letting people know that it's okay and you can feel uncomfortable anytime when you are transitioning to be a better person as you grow on a constant basis, because that uncomfortableness, it means you having a breakthrough. You have, God has something ahead for you at that very moment for you to start shifting into something that's greater for you. And I have learned that. I've learned that process along the way. So with me learning that and knowing the direction that I needed to go in and constantly go in, I also install it into my audience and the people that are in my life so they can understand that relationship with God and understand it's okay to love yourself first and put you first. So that's like one of my main things when it comes to leadership, because leadership starts with God in you. So if you don't have that, it'll be difficult for you to understand your path. That's of everything that's getting ready to come to you.
I agree with you. That's one thing that is my core is God, because when life get a little hectic, which it always will, God keeps me centered and get me back aligned and get me back focused on what I need to be doing according to what He put me on this earth to do. And so when I think about how you first began with the daycares and then starting the mentorship program, I would say this. Do you feel that mentorship is one of the biggest parts of your journey, and is it still is to this day? Because I know it started with it, but do you feel that it's
Yeah.
still a major part?
You know what's so crazy? Mentorship is the huge part of my life. That's when I learned a lot, when I had relationships with these kids, with the parents, and just people overall. That's how I learned people more. That's how I learned the process in my path. And I didn't realize it until like a few years ago, is that it prepared me for what where I'm at today. It prepared me to even have this podcast, for me to be able to communicate with people, relate to people, and everything. But what I have learned when it comes to mentorship, it could be very hurtful, because I put all my passion and everything into it, because it was something that I loved to do, and I wanted other people to feel love the way my mother loved me and how I was raised. I have a loving family as well. I didn't have no rough life, you know what I'm saying? I was blessed with a good life. So I wanted to give that to others. But learning that when you give so much and do so much for people, you lose value of yourself. And when you lose value of yourself, it causes people to have entitlement. It causes them to not respect you. And it causes them to even break a bond of a relationship with you, because you're giving so much love and you're giving so much to them. And when you start losing your value, they don't appreciate it anymore, because they haven't experienced it before, and then they still going through things on the outside of being around you. They still got to go back home to their families, deal with their families, and be in their environment. So I had to learn how to separate the two and not let it hurt me as so bad, because it tore me up for a very long time, because I had no understanding of it. But when it comes to mentorship, though, somewhere in your life, I've seen many people come to me from years ago and say how much I changed their life, how much I helped them, or how they didn't understand back then and they understand now. So just long as you staying true to yourself and still be your authentic self and still get mentorship, and you get a mentor too,
Mhm.
that is doing better than you and greater than you, it'll help you so much along the way. Just like even like masterminds, you got to make sure you in a good mastermind classes with a group of other mastermind individuals that is going in the same path as you. It's a constant elevation, it's a constant hurt, it's a constant blessings, everything. It's just, you just learn how to deal with it as time progresses.
I agree. Mentorship is something good, to be a mentor, and then to also make sure that you are a mentee. So it helps, but I find it very interesting what you said, which is so true. When you are a mentor, and when you're a mentor, especially when you're in a youth setting, you're a mentor to more than one person at a time. So you have all these different individuals, all these different personalities, all these different experiences that are different from your own. And you're pouring,
Yeah.
and you're pouring because you really do care. But then as you pour, a little bit of you is getting taken away every single time you pour. If someone else, like you said, having your own mentor, is not pouring inside of you. And
Yeah.
what I find for myself, being a mentor to some, and before I had all these mentors mentoring me, it was like an exhaustion that I cannot explain. It was like a depletion of energy, emotion, and especially when you're pouring out to the extent, like you said, and they take it for granted. They
Yeah.
start getting entitled, feeling like this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so it hurts. And I understand that hurt. When you said that, I was like, ooh, I remember that. I mean, sleepless nights. I remember just in
Yes.
tears crying, like they just don't know what we sacrificing. Time with
Man.
family, time doing things that we want to do for ourselves, but we're spending time doing other things to help you reach whatever level you want to reach. And so I think that is very, very important. If you are a mentor, make sure that you have some mentors that's pouring into you, because you can't go but so far consistently pouring yourself out all the time without someone pouring inside of you. Now let's go to your show, because I've been mentioning your show throughout this interview, and they're probably saying, now, what are you talking about? All this other stuff. And she ain't talking about the girl podcast. Hold your horse. So we're going to talk about Life Her podcast. Like I said, it is a whole entity, breath, person of its own. I have seen it grow over the years, and I want to say congratulations on all your success and everything that you have been doing. With that being said, let's talk about the complexities of being a podcaster. Right now, we know that podcasting is trending. Let me pause with that a little bit. Podcasting is trending. And I saw your face, so you feel me. You feel me. So people look at us as if podcasting is not a job. Podcasting is not a career. Podcasting is just turning on, speaking on a microphone, and that's it. Let's just break it down to the people that it's more to podcasting than just clicking the live, going live on some social media, or going live on StreamYard or whatever platform you want. Let's just talk about that. What is one thing you want people to understand about podcasting?
It is not.
More than one thing.
Not easy. It's not easy. Girl, it's a full-time job. Maybe even would include overtime. Like, it's so much that comes with podcasting, and the expectations people have. They think they could just, you know, how you chilling with your girls having a good time, and you be like, y'all, we need us a podcast, we can talk about this. But it's like, no, you need more. You need bullet points. You need a whole conversation. You need a outline of what you're talking about, and it has to constantly go on the, I don't know, once a week basis, however you gonna release your podcast. It got to keep going. Most people never make it past 10 episodes, maybe even 5, because it's a lot of work and it could be expensive too. If you want better and great content, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to do something. You're going to need subscriptions to different sites and stuff for you to be able to keep going. You know, it's just so much that come with it. And you have to understand it's gonna take a while before you actually get paid to do it also. It's gonna take a miracle for you to get to that point. So when people just always have these podcasts, you know, you got some popular podcasts and stuff, but it takes a lot of funding for that too. You know, ads are expensive. You can pay for that per day, you know, and then just having the brands reach out to you. A lot of brands are looking at your analytics and see if your podcast is really doing the numbers that you say. And it's just so much to it, girl. I could go on and on about this podcast and stuff, but I could say for me, myself, probably, I would honestly say starting probably little end of last year. Girl, I was like in the beginning, my friend, she did all my graphics, in my first year, she managed my social media pages and stuff like that. But I've been doing it for 5 years now. I do the editing, I do the posting, I do my graphics. I do everything. My postings. Well, when it comes to different things, my cousin, she just started back with me. For a while, it was like a little on and off. She controls my emailing and my scheduling. At first, I was doing all of that as well. Um, it's expensive too. So if you do need someone to edit, you're spending you spending some money to get it edited. And I just now started having somebody edit my pre-recording shows, but in my in-person ones, thank God I have a podcast studio myself, and I can have someone come in here and record for me and do all of that. I don't have to pay for a space, but it still costs for that person's time. It still costs for them to edit it. And then sometimes it'd be difficult too, because people will be on your podcast and they'll be looking for their show to come out tomorrow. and, and it's not gonna happen because You got other people ahead of them. You got one editor. They're only one person. They gotta edit a whole show, and it depends on how they edit it. They have to line up the audio with the video. It depends if
Mhm.
they doing it that way. It just depends on that person. But it's a lot, and it's crazy because I just made a video today, a short 45-second video of showing the proper, like, the steps that I go through when it comes to me scheduling my podcast and putting it out there. It's a lot of work. It's not easy at all. It's not.
It's not easy. I would say this. Um, People have told me that, like, I make it look easy. Like, and I would say this from the outside looking in, you make it look easy, but it's just because we're very good at what we do, and we have been
Yes.
doing it a very, very long time. We have not just started this. We're not new to this. We are true to this, and that's a big difference. Okay. We was doing this when nobody else, when it wasn't even popular.
No.
People weren't even thinking about it like that now. It was way before Shay Shay and them. Okay. With everything. So everybody paying attention to podcasting now. But I just want people to know that podcasting is a great medium for you to be able to share. It's also a great tool to be able to market. It's a great networking tool. It's a great asset to your business. It's a lot of amazing things, but you do not need to go into it thinking, if you want it to be something that other people want to come on your show, people want to patronize your show, you can't just put out anything. And so
No.
we have two worlds. We have two worlds in podcasting. We have one side where people podcast, you can come on their show for free. And then you have the other side of podcasting where people charge a fee. Now, some people feel some type of way on this fee side, but I need you guys to understand this, is that just like she said, it costs for the software that you're on. It costs for a graphic person. It costs for a videographer. It costs to be able to pay someone, if you're fortunate enough to be able to pay someone to do it. And even if you're not, you're doing all those things yourself. It's still a job. It's individual jobs that you're doing. And yes, we made the decision to podcast, but also this is a business. And so think about why you was attracted to come on someone's show. And then if they saying this goes towards production costs, why not? Why not? Okay. And so that's the world. And I look at the longevity of the show. Like, I don't care about investing in a show that's been around past a couple of years, not no 10 episodes, because I want you to be a little bit more wet around. I want you to do a little bit longer than 10 episodes. But somebody that's been in the game 3, 5, 6, 10 years, okay, this episode is going to come up. Okay, they're going to get it done. And so if you are a guest that is becoming a guest of someone else's show, there's a process of editing and placement and people who are in front of you. So it's a real production, just like a TV show. It's a real production, just like anything else. And I would encourage you guys to really, the next time you go into a podcast from a guest perspective, really take it all in, what's going on, and the time it takes to do it. I feel like so many people are jumping into podcasting right now, and they jump in and they jump back out, not really thinking this is a real thing. When you're doing it the right way, this is not no little easy little thing. And so I wanted to say that because me and you've been doing this a very, very long time, and it have been moments where I'm like, I'm not doing this no more. I'm sorry.
Me too.
This is over. I had to came out retirement. I don't know how many times. I'm retired. No, I come back out. Nope. I'm done. And so you're going to feel those moments where you feel underappreciated. You're going to have those moments where you feel like, okay, I am done. I have taken this as far as I want to go. But then it be that one person, or maybe someone come along and send you an inbox or an email, or come on your show and say that one thing, that one little spark that you need in order to keep going. So when I think about your show, many of our listeners are entrepreneurs. They're just starting out, or they may be within, I call it the infancy stages, between year 1 to 3, or 1 to 3 years. What are 2 or 3 practical steps that you can recommend to help them build their brand? Because you have been very, very great with building your brand and staying consistent. I know your brand anytime I see your logo, because you have been so consistent with the placement of your logo, the fonts. I keep telling people, you can't have this font one day and turn around next day just because you like the way this font look and start you, and you can't be using this shade red one day and then turn around and you gonna do it. I'm like, so please, so they won't just hear from me anymore thinking I'm trying to be funny. Explain the importance of this brand, building your brand, because you've been very great with that with your show.
Girl, you'll be surprised how many people got mad at me or thought I was being funny acting because I wouldn't let them on my show. It's not that, it's just my show is quality, and when it's quality you're gonna have quality people reaching out to you, or people believing in you and seeing your professionalism. And one of the main things that I've noticed a lot of people don't have is a headshot picture. A
Oh,
headshot picture is just professional photos overall. A lot of people do not invest in themselves. They think getting a $50 photo shoot is a photo shoot, and it's not. Sometimes you may have to spend more than that to get good quality. So that's one of the main things. Up to dated photos at that. Not no throwback photo that you took about 10 years ago. I want to see something new. So that is one of the things. And you could either have a one pager bio. It could be in Microsoft if that's your preference, but at least have it typed out in professional, nothing copy paste, you know what I'm saying? So at least have that, a one pager, a EPK, um electronic press kit that is needed. If you feel like, or if you know that your brand is doing amazing numbers and you doing amazing things, of having a visual, seeing it is important. Having the correct verbiage on it is important, and maybe even having a representative like a publicist or someone to even pitch you to different shows as well. It's going to cost, but it takes time. And even when you have a publicist, if someone don't know you, it's going to take them about 2 3 months sometimes to even get somebody to actually pick you up and want your brand and want to interview you. And a lot of times I take in clients like that, and I've seen clients after my show, I've seen them take off. I have seen it with my own eyes on bigger name podcasts that are doing amazing things as well. That matters a lot. And your professionalism on social media, that matters a lot too. You gotta present yourself well, and you gotta always just bring your A game all the time. If it's more of drama and like your personal stuff that's too much and too negative, it doesn't look good. What you're talking about, things besides your brand, you need to talk about your brand. Post the things that you're doing, encourage people, whatever your brand is, that's what you need to be doing on your page. So it's a lot that comes with it when people really just don't know, and they gotta understand, you gotta step your game up. You have to. And if you don't know, try to watch authentic podcasts like you and me, our shows, you know what I'm saying, and see those things. Sometimes I'm not trying to be shady, but some bigger shows are people that's really not telling you the exact truth. They're just telling you things to be able to get money from you. So make sure you are getting the authentic side of a person that's actually going to help you. And I vet a lot of my guests, and they are official. I probably had one guest years ago when I first started. She wasn't official at all, but it's like you just gotta make sure that you just come in heavy and you come in professional. It's needed.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. So she just gave you the rundown of what high quality podcast shows are looking for when we are looking or seeking guests. People know that I don't accept just any old body off the street on my show or network or whatever like that. They were like, you like, she has a strict protocol because I know that anything that's attached to me is a
Mhm.
representation of me by default.
Yeah.
Okay. And so even if I may not agree with something, oh, but they around me, right? And so I need you guys to understand that your brand is very, very important. You need to treat it as the commodity, the all the things. You want to build wealth, you want to build legacy, all of that. Before you put out a post, think about it. If someone made you upset, which they probably will, because you can't make everybody happy, that's just a
Mhm.
part of business. We try, but that's just not how it always work out. Think twice before you post if you are trying to react to something. And I
Yeah.
tell people, if you're going to react to something, just don't do it. Don't do it
Yeah.
publicly because guess what? It never erases. You think, oh, I can delete it. No, ma'am. No, sir. It's still out there. And that very post could be the thing that stop a brand from hiring you, that stop you from having that big opportunity because here you think it doesn't affect you. And guess what? Those companies, they do social media sweeps. I said they go
Yes.
through and they check everything. Yes, you
Yeah.
have something about that.
They do. I've experienced it. I done had people that requested to be on my show and they researched me.
Yeah.
I mean they researched me from the beginning to the end. And they had to make sure because they wanted to be on my show, but they know how they are. They know how much of value they are to be on
Mhm.
my show to make sure it represents them and their brand too. So that matters a lot because not only you're representing yourself and other guests, but guests are feeling like when they come on your show, you're representing them too. So I've
Mhm.
had my girl, I don't know what it was. I probably this year a lot of my guests they researched me. I mean, they said some stuff I forgot about, and I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah,
and
they do. They do.
yes, and they look up your numbers, making sure okay if I'm gonna be on her podcast, how will it help me? Girl, they
Mhm.
looked up everything. They done pulled up all the data. And I'm like, dang, I haven't even done that for myself. But
Yeah.
it felt good that they felt safe. It felt good
Mhm.
that they know that my show could help them and help my guests and just even have a relationship. I have relationships with them now, and they doing big things, and
Yeah.
it's amazing. People and publicists trust me with their clients. They know
Mhm.
that I can't get off topic or out of bounds with their clients, especially the celebrity clients. You know, having
Mhm.
them on my show and stuff, and they know that I'm not about to say nothing off the wall off topic. So it's like I have that trust too in the industry. And a lot of that stuff it matters. It matters a lot.
It does matter. And the more high caliber guests you get, the more clearance you have to have.
Yeah.
You can't, okay, like some people say, I want to have a celebrity on my show. I want to have a big influencer on my show. Well, not I'm saying you're not gonna be talking directly with them. Sometimes you do, but most of the time you're talking through their publicist, and they are going to research you.
Yep.
They are going to research you. And so do your stuff, do your numbers, do your stuff stack up? How are you as an interviewer? How are you as a researcher? How can do you make your guests feel? Are you a good conversationalist? Oh, I
Yep.
mean, you know, all these things play a big factor when you are leveling up in podcasting. Podcasting is not just podcasting, it's actually a major way of promotion and marketing for anyone who participates. Myself, for her, I'm pretty sure she would not have came on my show if it was flim flam. No, and I wouldn't go on hers. I'm like, I respectfully decline. Thanks for the invite, but no, thank you. Thank you. I put on my little diplomatic. Thank you, but not right now. Conflict in schedule. Conflict in schedule. You know, like this is not going to work because people look. Do they really want their face on your flyer?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just your show, but what type of marketing you putting out? And so I encourage you guys to go check her out, like her, because hunty, it is thebomb.com, and she has grown over the years. And so you have always had that very polished TV look, even before it was a thing. You know, everybody trying to do. I say that with quotation because we've been doing this a minute. Yes. And now it's a lot of people. I'm talking about this is before AI, which means we had to put in the blood, sweat, and tears. I was talking to my friend the other day, and I was like, girl, you remember when I was your AI? She was like, Tina, did I put the comma in the right place? Did I write this sentence right? I'm like, listen, yeah, we was in here doing this stuff way before you had all this AI stuff. We had to put in the work, no AI graphic creator. No editing with stuff. No, we had to do it. 1 3-minute video could take you 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Sometimes days.
A long time.
Ooh, some of them can take days. And like you mentioned earlier, when the audio and the video unsync for like 2 seconds, you have to sit there and try to line up the words with the mouth and oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And hope you don't have no 3-point camera angle because now you gotta make sure all these angles matching. And you be like, maybe I should just did one camera.
And then the file get too big.
Corrupted. And then you have to figure out how to pull the file back and be like, oh my God, now I need to take this to a computer person. Can you
and then it takes about 3 days to download on YouTube.
See, that's what I'm telling you guys. This is real talk. Podcasting is amazing, but it is a job. It is a commitment. And you really need to think when you want to build and scale your show, your guest does matter. What you put out does matter. What you put on social media matters at the end of the day. And it also matters in whatever your goal is in order to build your brand. Because in essence, you're building your digital imprint. And so when I think about that, when I think about what you have been able to do with your business, with your life, with your faith, your personal growth, I knew it wasn't easy, but you kept on going. What systems or habits have helped you to stay grounded but productive, but still allowing you to nurture yourself at the same time?
Girl, listen, I'm real big on self-care. I wasn't at first, but I realized how important it was. Self-care, I don't care if it's a 2-hour, 5-hour drive, I'm going on a vacation. I make sure I do that literally probably twice a month. I'll be gone on the road, and I make sure I love nature. So we have trails here in Ohio. I always go to bike trails or go walk on the trail, and I always just make sure I go do things that I love to do. I love music. I love different genres of music. So I always go to different concerts, plays, get massages, spa days. I do all of that stuff. And on the weekend, if it's work related, I do not respond to anyone. I don't even have conversations or don't even like having conversations about my podcast or my daycare, none of that. I don't want to have, if you're texting me about it, I'm going to text you back on Monday.
Exactly.
I literally I don't want to talk about it. It just takes up too much of my time. I already got it Monday through Friday, you know. So I just always make sure that my time is mine, and I don't let anyone interfere with it, because if you don't do that, you gonna lose your mind. You go literally lose your mind. And also from the losses that I took, it helped me realize that all you really have is yourself at the end of the day. So why not do things on your terms the way you are?
I agree with you, but I had to learn that the hard way. Unfortunately, I had a stroke in my 20s that left me partially paralyzed. I even had amnesia, and I was a new mom. And when I came from that, I still didn't learn my lesson. I had to get sick again because I'm a giver. I'm a natural giver and nurturer. And then I don't know what happened when I got into my 40s, but something clicked. And
Me too.
I was like, wait a minute. This
Them
not working for
40s,
me.
man. Them 40s make you feel like you done turned into a thug or something.
Yes. Because when I hit them 40s, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this not working for me.
No.
This little situation is not working for me. Set these
40s make you
boundaries.
feel like they make you feel like a thug, an assassin, like you was just kind of a superhero. Them 40s hit different, man. You got zero
Tolerant.
tolerance. Zero. Play with your mama, not me.
Yes, you are so right. It's like something just snapped at me, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is not working for me. They was like, you changed. I said, and you haven't.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the new Tina. Take it or leave it. I don't care at this point. I don't care at this point because I need to take care of myself, and it's not selfish. It's not a bad thing for me to take care of myself, and it's just different. And I tell people it's like something snapping you when you get in the front line.
Straight savage, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you start setting these boundaries. Like people know, don't call her on Wednesday. You know she don't work on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I will tiptoe out of somebody's life and not care if I'll speak to them ever again.
Yeah, but for those of you who, 20, 30s, you'll know what we talking about a little bit later.
Definitely.
When you get in your 40s, you'll get to that point where you're like, I don't even care. No, that don't work for me. No, I don't like that. I know. So when I think about your vision and the impact that you have already made, looking ahead, what's next for you? Do you have any exciting things coming up with your podcast? Is it anything that you want to do? Because you have done so much in a short span of time. So what's next?
Girl, I really want to just retire everything and just podcast. I'm gonna be honest. I want to podcast and travel the world. That's what I want to do, and just get more into real estate. Just getting properties here in the United States, and also in Ghana, somewhere like in Africa and stuff. I want to like maneuver back and forth. So that's like one of my main plans on doing that. And also just I really haven't mentored anyone in a while, so I wanted to create some courses and ebooks and stuff, because a lot of people reach out to me about a lot of things when it comes to it. And I started a podcast on childcare. Girl, I didn't know it was gonna grow so fast. So I don't even know what I signed myself up for, because my YouTube channel just like blew up overnight one day, and I'm just like, oh my God, and they asking me all these questions. I don't have no content for it or nothing. I just started it. So I probably just get off into that a lot more. And I want to write some books about different things of my life and stuff. Well, like my business and my marriage. A lot of people don't know I got married in federal prison to my husband. and I wanted to talk about that process and just different things. I just want to encourage people more and work less and not so hard and just live my life. That's one of my main things.
Well, then you'll switch your podcast name to Her Life, because then you'll be traveling with your life. But like, listen, I'm retired. I'm on the road now. It's her life. You gonna see my life now. I'm over here in the Bahamas this week.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see you doing something like that. And if you could leave our audience today with one final word of encouragement about pushing through trials, or maybe pushing towards their dreams, not giving up, what would you like to say to them? Because you had a lot that you went
Yeah,
through.
yeah. I would say put God first. Build a personal relationship with him. And put you first. Start taking care of yourself and analyzing your surroundings. Make sure you're around people that will elevate you and support you in many ways, as far as you moving forward and push you. And also, um just because you've been around someone for so many years, it doesn't mean they're always supposed to be in your life. You don't owe them anything. If anything, you owe yourself everything. So I'm quite sure a lot of red flags have been there, but you just have to execute that along with executing your lifestyle, your business, your children, your family, and just wanting more for yourself, because life is literally short. One day, me and my husband smiling and laughing, having a good time one night, and then overnight he's gone. So life can be just so quick like that, unexpectedly, of you not knowing anything. So I suggest you to start living your life and do all the dreams and things that you've been wanting to do for years. It's never too late. As many millionaires became millionaires in their late 50s, 60s, 70s. It has history there, and you could still be that one too.
Well, when you look at history, I agree with you. When you look at history, all those Amazon, just to knock it, just to say him, it happened in his late 40s, And so when you think about, when you backtrack and do all this research, something about those 40s. It's just
Yep.
something about the 40s,
That's what I
right?
said. That's my goal. That is my goal. Travel the world, be a multimillionaire.
Yes, yes, and it will happen because it's out there, and you will be on one side of the world, I'll be on the other side, and then we'll cross paths with our
Yep.
mics and say, "Girl, don't you remember what we said, girl? Listen, you thought I was something in my 40s and my 50s. I don't take nothing, hunty." So I have heard my friends who are there in the 50s, they say, "You think the 40s is something? Wait till you get to your 50s. You talking about no tolerance, honey, please. You don't know no tolerance until you get to your 50s." So I'm looking forward to that time, because I'm definitely enjoying finding myself, understanding myself, and getting to love who I am, the good, the bad, the ugly, learning to embrace, because it took me a very long time to get to this place where I really love who I am. I like myself at the end of the day, and I did not always feel that way. Sad to say. And so for those of you who may be struggling with identifying yourself, feeling your self-worth, your self-value, all of that, do the homework. It took me 3 years to go on the journey by myself. I hope yours don't take that long, but it took me 3 years of a lot of things that I had to heal from. And the other side of it is just pure joy and happiness. And I started my podcast for therapeutic reasons, and then it grew to everything that you see now. Life Her podcast, she started for therapeutic reasons. We have our reason why, but then look at the end result of everything. Well, it's not the end for us. Look at where we are now. And go ahead and create your own story. So if it's anything else you would like to share with our audience before we go, because I want them to definitely connect with you on your show, to at least watch it and subscribe.
Yes, you could definitely find Life Her podcast on any and every platform. You can listen and subscribe, and I promise you will love it. It's very diverse, and you will learn a lot about your business and things that you didn't know and needed to know. And I want to thank you too, Tina, for having me on your show. I've been watching your show for a very long time, and you are like super dope. I love everything that you're doing, and I'm proud of you because I've watched you elevate as well, and you are doing the thing, girl.
Okay, we both doing the thing because we was both out here getting dirty, falling down, getting back up, crying, wanting to fight, everything. We went through all the emotions together. And so it was moments, even though I did not comment all the time, it was moments where I was feeling like giving up. And then a notification popped up and I saw your podcast. And it gave me that push because I saw that you kept going. And I was like, okay, she lost her husband. If she can keep going, I can keep going. I lost my uncles and, different stuff like that. I said, okay, I have to keep on going. So it's just certain people that you can see that you never know that is kind of mentoring you or giving you that little push, because we both kind of was doing everything all at the same time. We kind of crossed paths. And social media is so, I don't see you all the time because they don't notify me either. Even though I'm following you, I have to literally go and look you up for me to see you. So they let me see people who I don't want to see, but the people who I do want to see, I don't see them.
So I'm not loving this. I don't get it. I don't see you. That is weird. That is crazy. I think I'm gonna probably change. What I've been noticing when they unfollowed a lot of people. And I'm sitting like, why I'm not following these people? It's like you be Facebook friends with them, but you're not actually following them. So I have to
tell you. So I don't know why I don't see it. So now unless I look it up, and it's just weird because we're so busy. I just scroll. I don't really look up too many people until I was like, wait a minute, where's Life her? Like, and then I go look, I'm like, oh, she's still here. I'm like, oh, good. She cool. She's still going. But so anyway, like they show me everything I don't want to see. I'm like, I don't care about them fighting and acting a fool. Show me some good stuff. But anyway, I think it's just how the algorithms do and all that. But anyway, keep up the good work. I'm so proud of you. I'm happy that we connected, and we need to stay in contact. And if I'm ever in that neck of the woods, I'll definitely be like, girl, I'm down here in Ohio, but I'm over here in South Carolina, so that's not no skip and hop. That's a distance. But
I come that way. My niece just moved there, so if I come that way, I will definitely hit you up too.
Yes, okay, because we understand, like I said, we're not new to it, we're true to it. It's a bit different. Yes. We've been able to see the transition from traditional audio to video to AI, from without AI. Sounding boards to no sounding boards, cell phones to using mics and mixers. Like we like. Yeah, it's a thing, right? And it's not too many, like I said, it's not too many of us that was able to last. And if they did last, they stayed the same and they never elevated. And one thing I love about you and I, with God's help, we have been able to elevate. You can see the growth over the years. It's undeniable that God put his hand on what we're doing, because who else gonna help two women grow through all this stuff, girl? With all the stuff that we have to do, like it ain't nothing but him all day long.
All day.
So I be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, Lord. You need to help me through this, because I don't know. But anyway, you guys, we're gonna go, because as you can see, we get into girl chat now, so we're gonna take this off the camera. So I know y'all enjoying this whole little thing, but we're finna cut this to the end. Make sure to check out the Life Her podcast. She have so many videos. What I want you to do is just don't follow her here on Facebook. I need you guys to go out and follow her on podcasting platforms as well as her YouTube channel. And do not just subscribe. I need you to hit the notification bell, because you're not going to see everything that she puts out if you don't hit the notification bell. These are places that you need to go. And if you are a business owner, that is a great venue to take your business to if you reach the requirement. Hint, hint. If you reach the requirement, because everybody don't get through the door, but you can at least try and see when she accept you on her show. But if you are, it's a great opportunity. So on that note, you guys have a great, amazing rest of your day. Make sure to tune in next week, same time, same place. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Here's why you need to tune in right now. With CTR Media Network, you can transform your knowledge into a fully produced TV show. Imagine your content streaming on platforms like Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV, reaching over 350 million households in 140 countries. We take care of everything, from managing your ready-to-go content to global distribution. And it's not just any content, it's edutainment, a perfect blend of education and entertainment that keeps viewers coming back for more. You'll join a vibrant community of thought leaders, podcasters, and educators, all sharing a passion for impactful content and global reach. Plus, with our app available on Google Play and the App Store, your show will be accessible to millions more, ready to shine on the global stage. Let's get you started. Schedule a 15-minute call with us today and turn your idea into a TV sensation. Reply to this video by saying, "I want to learn more." Don't wait, your audience is out there waiting.